5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Okay, let's get right to it. First off, I wanted to share that a Walmart associate did a little video that I thought was kind of cool, and we'll just play that. Make sure we got sound.
In times of darkness, the sun still shines regardless, and I think that that's a reminder that light will always harness the power to break through fear. Dry tears, right here. Our home stays home if we all just stay home and cherish all the memories and dreams left to fulfill. Right. The one message that will reach cashiers at the till, will reach those stocking the shelves, reach those asking for help. We played the cards we've been dealt, but together, I know that we have a fighting chance. Socially distant, but mentally we're holding hands. In this together, whatever endeavor, we will treasure the better times and recognize that we are an important part in each other's lives. As I send this message to men, women, and children, this world is our home, so we should all care for the building. The storm is raging on, but sun shines after a blizzard. I'm a Walmart wizard, an associate with Heart of Magic. Like all my Walmart family, together, we make it happen. We live better together. So together, let's make it happen.
Okay, thank you, Walmart, for that. Terrell, thank you for that. I'm not sure if that was aired as a Walmart commercial, but I thought I'd share it with you. Okay, next up. North Dakota contact tracing app was the Washington Post. Seems to have broke the story. Proud Crowd confirmed the location sharing to Washington Post that somehow some users' locations are going to Foursquare, which lets it pop up ads. Now, I'm not qualified to understand the ins and outs of the app, but the governor said we didn't sell the data. Well, that doesn't matter. Maybe Foursquare will. But the other point is that then there's an anonymity code that was used when transferring it to Foursquare. So they don't know that John Miglash is next to Subway, but they know that somebody's next to Subway, and they can pop an ad up in your phone for Subway. That's kind of how it works. Okay? Makes sense. I mean, in Wisconsin, I don't get very many ads for Waze, and it only works when you stop. So we don't stop that much around here. But in Chicago, where you stop every few feet, I get all kinds of ads popping up. Now, does that mean they know that John Miglash is there? I don't know. I don't think they care. I think they care that I'm driving past their store or their fast food place, and they want to let me know. So that, I'm the whole location sharing is tricky, because there was another great article, I think it was in the New York Times, about how somebody took the phone location data and traced people to the Pentagon and other important government offices based on their attendance at the inauguration, and then where they went the next few days. And they could tell right where they worked, and then they could tell where they lived, and voila, as they say. Some hackers released a new jailbreak that unlocks every iPhone, which some people like. And, if you want to unlock it, you can put in new software, I think. So, again, I don't understand this, but one of the things that it does say is the jailbreak comes at a time when Apple's typically strong, when the shine is wearing off Apple's typically strong security image. Okay? Zerodium, probably, a broker for exploits, said it would no longer buy certain iPhone vulnerabilities because there were too many of them. And they've even gotten the pre-release phones, and they're hacking them already. So, if you're using iPhones because you think they're super secure, at least we know you got money. And maybe that's why they're so vulnerable. Approaching normalcy. This was an interesting one, just this graph. Okay, overall, we're up 38% from the low point in early April, and we're getting back to the miles traveled per day. Okay, so up it's early in the year in February, it was up at 18, and now it's back to 13. So we're still down quite a bit. I know Wisconsin's up more than that. Some of the states that are more open are up more than that. But we're making progress. We're getting out, traveling around. And so, as usual, I like to visit Tom Fishburne, and here is his weekly cartoon, The New Normal, the the level path, a straight and narrow, is closed, and the new normal is you better hit the gas because it's going to be an interesting ride. One of the things about loopy loops is you got to go fast enough for your inertia to keep you on the road, or else you plop down and crash upside down. But I always like what Tom has to say about the other things. And this, as you know, we covered this a little while ago. We're out in front, and I hope Tom sources from our videos. But the image of customers wearing swimming pool noodles is emblematic of business as unusual. It's not business as usual, it's business as unusual, right? It not only reveals how strange the next chapter feels, but how businesses large and small are trying to find creative ways to adapt. As I heard someone say recently, we're not going back to work, we're going forward to work. Okay, well, get to work is what I got to say. A telling chart released by CB Insights this week tracked the number of times the words new normal have been mentioned in earnings calls transcripts every quarter since 2008. And here it is. And I don't know, it's a little hard to see, but basically the unprecedented times similarly went kaboom. Everybody says it's unprecedented times, so we're doing what we're doing. I don't know if you saw it today, but Hertz Rent-A-Car declared bankruptcy. Now, I don't have any real sadness there, because the couple of times I've rented from Hertz, it was a complete disaster, where the charges were double when I turned the car in, and I lost my Giorgio Armani sunglasses, and they didn't care. Left them in the little visor box. So I've never thought Hertz was worth the money. The few times I used them, it was a very big disaster. But here's the real point of this. Simon Sinek took issue with the expression unprecedented times in a video conference with his internal team, which he released publicly. In the call, he said, "These are not unprecedented times. There are many cases where changes or something unexpected has put many companies out of business and made other companies come out stronger and reinvent themselves. The invention of the internet put many, many companies out of business. The ones who could not reinvent themselves for the internet age, but rather doubled down on the old way they did business, are gone." I remember talking to the CFO at Dominic's Finer Foods, and we were talking about the UCrop system, which was the scanner system with the UPC codes. And he said, a lot of people in the grocery industry held back and thought, do we really need this? We've always done business without these little codes and without the scanners. He said the people that waited went under, got bought up, because they could not manage their inventory as fast as companies who were keeping track of what was going out the door. He said, you got to be careful with technology. You got to be up on things, because sometimes that next new thing will put you out of business or give someone else the edge. And so we're going to be doing another webinar. We're going to be talking a little bit about the unprecedented wins we've been having in 2020. Not from 1997 like you all think, because I got a great beard, but a gray beard. Anyway, every video store is out of business because of streaming. I remember talking to the number 2 guy at Blockbuster, and he said, even if we could stream every video in the world, it's still only a couple of 100 hours worth of viewing time. No one imagined the speed at which we're able to produce new video content like this today. I have 500 videos up on YouTube. You can binge watch that for a couple of months. Anyway, and so Blockbuster wasn't worried at the time, but they decided to do a catalog, and I told them it wouldn't work, and they did it anyway and lost $5 million. Speaking of bucks, when Starbucks moved into a neighborhood, many coffee shops went out of business, not because of Starbucks, but because they refused to change the way they did business. Uber is putting taxi companies out of business, not because of Uber, but because the taxi companies refused to change. You know, in most cities, there weren't enough taxis, but what there were, you couldn't get to come where you were, where you were, when you were. It was just too hard to connect up with them, and that's the magic of Uber, right? Dynamic taxi quantity with demand. They pay more when there's a big sporting event or there's some other big business, reason for there to be more taxis. So people go into the taxi business instantly. It works out. This is not unprecedented. More sudden, absolutely. More shocking, absolutely. But this is not unprecedented in the business world. There's always something happening. We were making money hand over fist for Adobe. They decided to up our charges to someplace just shy of $300,000 a month, which would have been real money to us who only had a dozen or two employees. But at the same time, the financial crisis hit in Asia, and they decided to cut all their marketing, and so we were fired, pleasantly fired, with many thanks, but fired nonetheless. And so it can happen. It happens often. Now, in this one, it mainly happened because we decided to focus on one thing. All the media attention, the whole world focused on one thing. And shortly, I'm going to be looking into the total deaths per month in the United States. My guess is there wasn't much of a blip at all. My guess. Because we stopped driving, we stopped all these other things. We may have had less deaths in the last 3 months than we normally would. Yeah, but eventually that data will come out and we'll get a chance to see it. But in the meantime, if you want to change the way you do business, even small catalogs can benefit from our technology, not only because of the improvement in margin per piece, but also because of the insights that we deliver. We deliver dozens of insights to every model. It's not regression when there's only 10 variables. It's not AI where you don't know what it's doing. It's a hybrid that we've developed in-house over the last 25 years. We beat modeling companies over and over and over, head to head. And of course, we beat catalog companies with what they're doing internally. So if you'd like to get a head start on the unprecedented new world, we have ways to do it. We went through the 2008 and 09, and we helped Musician's Friend stay the course and keep growing through that. We did the 2001 and 2 recession with Pet Edge, and they grew 20% for the next 3 years, each year. So in the midst of downturns, we've been able to grow and increase profit. Might be something to look into. I'm John Miglosh. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. Bye-bye.